Welcome to our Lunch and Learn webinar series. Today's topic, Selling Your Home Starts When You Buy It, is brought to you with the support of our sponsor, the University of Fredericton. My name is Tanya Seneschal, and I am the event manager at the Fredericton Chamber of Commerce. Our presenter today is Fanny Bodart of the Property Ladies. For the last 11 years, Fanny has called New Brunswick home, 10 of which she has worked in real estate. Speaking several languages fluently, she works with both international and local clients and has extended her network well beyond New Brunswick's borders. She has a proven track record of successful transactions and bringing a professional and high-standard approach to the table. In addition to her real estate knowledge, she is a seasoned decorator, renovator, and stager. She is also a commissioner of oaths, offering this service to her clients and contacts. Her previous professional experience includes business consulting, general management, human resources, legal counsel, reporting, etc. She is committed to her clients, always following up and working with the result in mind, buying or selling your property. She says what she does and she does what she says, while delivering optimal service to all property owners, great and small. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Fanny.
Thank you, Tanya, for the introduction. First of all, I wanted to clarify my title, where I'm saying selling your home starts when you buy it. What I mean by that is that I often see people get into a home, especially when they're coming from abroad or other provinces, not really knowing what the values locally are, possibly overpaying when they buy it, and then down the road, the time comes to sell, they're noticing that they may be overpriced for the market. So it's very important to realize that when you buy your property, you know what the local values are. This is actually one of the reasons why I got my real estate license to begin with, to make sure that other newcomers, immigrants, and people coming into the province and city without necessarily the local knowledge would be paying the right price. So to get into our presentation, I always say real estate is not that complicated. There's 3 or 4 factors that play into this. We're going to talk about 3 of them today, which is time, condition of your home, and the price. Location is the 4th factor. That's very important. It is a little bit less in the local market in Fredericton because there's not really good and bad spots in Fredericton, but in some other areas it's very important to know where you are buying. The timeline really also starts when you buy your property. You should know how long you would want to stay in that home. Will you live here 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? It's something that at least you should have planned out. And it will affect, what you are able to put in the property in that time frame. The shorter your time frame, the more you should stay within the lines of what most people will want in a home. I always say the more unique your home, the more you customize it, it becomes a little harder to sell because your buyer pool will be smaller. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying do it while you know that it could be something that not everybody wants, so enjoy it for yourself. If you want to put an in-ground pool in, put it in with the purpose of enjoying it yourself. So when you are looking at the timeline, when you buy the property, decide more or less how long you want to be there. When it comes to sell, you need to also have time to prepare for that listing. Make a plan, have a checklist. We have those checklists on file, so anybody who would like to have a full checklist of what to do when you're getting ready to sell, just let us know when we can send that to you. And be realistic when you are buying it. When the time comes to sell, higher-end properties will need more time to sell in the Fredericton market and in the New Brunswick market as a whole. The pool of buyers, again, is not that big over a certain, threshold. So if you have a high-end property, be prepared that it could take a while to sell. That's where, the most important things about a timeline are important. Your agent will help you with that as well. now that we're talking about buying before selling, obviously, I just wanted to put a quick slide in here about what the process is. Um, Many people assume that everybody knows. Agents would assume that, but I know from experience people don't. Like I know I didn't when I first started here. So there's a couple of important things before you even start looking in the market is to have your financial approval in place. Go talk to your bank, go talk to your mortgage broker. Approval is not the same as a rate lock-in. You know, sometimes people think they are pre-approved, but all they have is a rate locked in for them for like typically 60 days. So make sure your financial advisor has all the information they need to give you a budget that is realistic. Okay, ask your agent to send you a buyer consultation checklist. So we are experienced in knowing, you know, what we can fit in certain price categories. We analyze your needs and wants, and you know, we'll be able to tell you how realistic they are. And after that, that's when you go and select your properties. We set up a portal for our buyers, so people that coming in from anywhere in the world, we can set up a portal where new listings will automatically go in, no matter who has them listed. Your buyer's agent here in New Brunswick, Canada, can show you any property on the market. When you have your portal set up, you can receive them automatically in your inbox every day. Then the work of writing an offer, negotiating the terms, accept the contract, that is all obviously done with your agent. To accept, you know, the contract and the price. After that, we will be working on removing conditions. Most typically, you will do a home inspection. You will have to have your financing in place. You will have to have property insurance in place. Rural properties need a water test done, and so on and so on. So it's very important that you have somebody who can guide you through these things. I see often that people, you know, do buy privately, which in principle I have no problem with, but then do not know everything that needs to be done and then end up with not enough information when the time comes to sell. Ask for documents, ask for invoices, warranties, and so on, because this is your chance to do that. So after conditions are removed, you know, everything goes to the lawyers in this case, not the loan officers. The lawyers will receive the funds and close it for you. So that's how home buying works. It's important to realize how it works when you're selling your home. It's also important that your buyers know that, you know, once you have an accepted offer in place, you need to be very, very careful what you do financially. Banks can approve you, but can, you know, will run a second or a third credit check at the time of closing. So basically, do not go out and put anything else on your credit while you're waiting to close. Do not be late in any payments. You know, don't apply for credit anywhere else. Just, you know, stay put till everything is closed. I've seen, you know, transactions fall through in the end because of this. So it's important that you know and take care of your, you know, credit situation. The next slide is about what you should do once you have an accepted offer in place. You have to keep everything current. Don't have anything, you know, fall back or have late payments. Make sure to return phone calls. The timing is of the essence once you're in the accepted offer stage. So make sure the funds is there. There's closing costs involved that are over and above you know, your financing and your deposit. So talk to your agent and find out how much exactly you need to have ready for closing. The second most important thing that is important when selling your home is the condition of the home. I always say you have to do the work. You cannot expect in this market in New Brunswick to have your house and not maintain it and it just gain value just by sitting there. You have to do the work. So from the start, as soon as you buy it, you have to maintain, fix, repair, upgrade. If your roof needs to be replaced, I would suggest to replace it sooner rather than later. It's not something that will give more value to your home necessarily, because I always say I cannot sell a house without a roof, but it makes your house more sellable. Buyers are looking for big ticket items to be done, and so they don't have to deal with it. They're prepared to pay more money for when it's all upgraded and fixed. Sometimes I would say have it pre-inspected. If you're unsure about a certain things, you could do that. It's an investment up front, but you then know that what you need to fix, because the buyer will have a home inspection as well. So in cases that you either have a lot of things to fix or you're not sure what to do, that would be a solution. Another thing I often see is know where to invest in your property, what to do and not to do to maximize your return on investment. It's very important that you check with an agent or somebody who knows about real estate values, appraisers or agents, to see before you do big renovations if that's the right spot to do your money. Again, the shorter your timeline, the more this becomes important. If you're going to be in a home 10, 15 years and you want to put that in-ground pool in, I would say go right ahead. If you're going in 2 years, you will not necessarily get that money back out of there. Typically, we say kitchens, bathrooms, those are important things that people do appreciate. So if you have to pick and choose where you're going to put a certain amount of money, I would say discuss it with your realtor before you do it. They can help you make a list. Sweat the small stuff is another thing that I think is very, very important. Very small things can have a big impact when you're showing your home. Example is, when you have little cracks between the baseboards or the trim around doors and windows, it attracts the eye. It's not a big thing, but it makes people wonder what else you would not have taken care of. So all those small things, like little plates missing on light switches or anything, doorknobs, just replace them before you start showing. It makes a big difference. And of course, the curb appeal, we're going to come back to that a little later as well, but it sounds obvious, but a clean house shows so much better. Where it's staged properly, put your stuff away, because people want to see the spaces, not necessarily your belongings. So like I said, the next step is a couple more examples to where to invest, what to do and what not to do. If your exterior doors and or garage doors are in really bad shape, I would say that would be a good investment to make. If they are still good, but a little bit, showing their age, just paint your front door or even your garage door, or change the knobs out. It makes a big difference because that's where people go in. And if that knob is rusty or looking bad or the key doesn't fit properly, I have it very often. It already at the first step, puts people off a little bit. So make sure everything works correctly. Do minor things around in the kitchen. It could just be knobs. It could be handles. Countertops are a little bit more work intensive and money intensive, but if they're in really bad shape, there are processes today where companies can refinish them for about half the price, they say, as replacing them. Dripping faucets or loose faucets, they will come up during inspection anyway, so I always say just replace them before. Same in the bathroom, if the mirror is cracked, just put a new mirror. If it's really bad, the vanity, it's not that expensive to upgrade the vanity. And again, the faucets or a leaky toilet, all those things take away a lot of value because, again, they make people wonder what else is there wrong that we cannot see. Landscaping and curb appeal, very, very important. Not just for picture day, but for showing day as well. Do easy things though. Don't go, landscaping your whole yard. That's not necessary. But what you do, make sure it's maintained and kept well, and that the walkways are clear and the house looks, inviting to come into. The third element today that we're going to discuss is the price. It's a very simple process, but it's very difficult sometimes for people to understand the concept of price. Um, you the right if you price it right at the start, it can make all the difference in your selling process. What I always say is price is very, very local. It is very subjective. It is in the buyer's mind what a house is worth, and what they are prepared to pay for it on a specific moment. It is nothing to do, unfortunately, with what you have in the house or what your neighbor thinks it's worth or what your neighbor sold for. It is really, the moment the buyer walks in is what he's prepared to pay for it. That's why we're doing all the work up front. The other important thing is that it starts with paying the right price when you buy the house. And I come back to, my first page there where I say sometimes people don't know and come in from other places and think they're doing a good deal, but maybe they're, overbuying or overpaying at the start. It will be hard to get that back when you sell. And the shorter your time frame, the harder it will get. So when you're buying, ask your agent to do a comparison as well at that time, not just when time comes to list. The other very important thing that people often forget to do is keep track of your improvements and upgrades that you are doing in your house. Keep your invoices, keep your warranties. Those are extremely important. If you're putting in a roof, keep the warranty and make sure it's transferable to the buyer. Very important. It's got to say that on the invoice. Show people how the value was added. People have access to sale prices since 2009. They are public in New Brunswick. So people will see what you paid for it. And, if you're asking $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 more, it's very easy if you have a list and you show what value you have added. Have you done a new kitchen? Have you upgraded the bathrooms? Have you done new flooring, finished the basement, anything of that kind? Be able to show it and not just say it. When we put a listing up, we make a full information package that goes to the buyers, and we promote that through our social media, where it will exactly say everything that has been done to the house since you've owned it. It's a very important step for us. Sometimes people have an appraisal done. It gives you more or less objective statement of value because, but they are taking it from the same data as agents are. So, the higher end your property, the higher your appraisal will be, but doesn't mean that you will get that amount of money. There's a divide there between what the buyer's pool is prepared to pay and what your appraisal could come in at. During your listing process, you're going to have to decide what fixtures and chattels you will have included. Will you include the appliances, the washer, dryer, fridge, stove? There's stuff that you have to include when it's attached to the house, like a dishwasher or range hood. More and more we see that people are prepared to include fridge and stove, washer, dryer, especially when people are coming in from abroad or other provinces. It's sometimes an added benefit to have everything included. But it's a decision you make when you're getting ready to list. So the CMA, as we call it, competitive market analysis, is very, very important to see what is sold in your area, what is currently listed, so that's what your competition is, and what has been sold within the last year. It's very important. Again, the start at the right price is where it all starts, and we'll come back to that, I think, in the next couple of slides. So when you're listed, now what? Then the showings will start. We're coming back to those checklists. If you want, we can send them to you, but it's all about decluttering. If you have very vibrant colors on your walls, sometimes I would advise to, make them a little bit more neutral. It all depends on the house, but, if the bright pink bedroom, we may say, paint it a little more neutral, because the buyer may not have, a small child that wants a bright pink bedroom. Keep the home well lit and bright. You know, basically, you have to keep your home showing ready every day. We make sure that on picture day, when we send in our professional photographers and videographers, that the house looks exactly as it's supposed to look. We try to tell our sellers to keep it that way. So try to leave your home every day with it ready to show. We know there's life happening and there are children and pets and so on, but it makes a big difference if it's really show ready and if it's not too cluttered. Again, we can help you with checklists on that, and we can help you also with staging and deciding what to leave and what to remove. So here we come back to that first impression. It's extremely important that when we represent your house, online, which is Realtor.ca and our social media and everywhere else it will go, because many websites now pull from Realtor.ca. So that presentation of the home is very, very important. That's why we do professional pictures, we do drone images, aerial videos, to make sure that people also know where this home is situated. Many buyers are not familiar with the area of Fredericton or New Brunswick, so it's important to include information or have information included about the area as well. But again, the simple things, once you have showings coming up, keep your yard clean, trim your hedges, make any necessary repairs up front, is what we said before. You're going to have to make them anyway, so why not do them up front and have it show better. Anything that's loose or damaged, like I said at the start, fix, repair, and upgrade where necessary. Dripping faucets and shower heads especially. Many times we see loose faucets on showers, which is really a very small thing to fix. And, most buyers will run the water on the showers and the toilets. So there we go. We have done all the preparations, and now it's time to be competitive on the market. When people tell me they want to price at a certain level and just see where it goes, I sometimes try to say, to find out if they really want to sell, because if you're starting at a price that is not realistic or not within the market, sometimes it can hurt you more on the long run than just starting competitively. The buying market has a very short attention span, so if you start really high and then come down later, not many people will notice it. They will not see it. So pricing it right the first time is key. When you start attracting buyers and showings, that's when you know you're priced in the market. Buyers, like I said, have access to sale prices these days. They know what's been selling. They know the value. So, and if the buyers don't, their agents will. So you want to generate offers before they move on to newer listings. The property generates the most interest when it first hits the market. That is just a fact. The first 30 to 60 days are the most important. If you're reducing after that, you may end up selling below what you originally could have sold at. It's a very important step. It's very important to listen to your agents, to look at the stats they will bring to you. It has to be realistic and perceived realistic by the buyers. There's a simple graph that I want to show you on the next slide to show you the relation between price and condition of the home. So when you price too high and your condition is not good, obviously you'll be outside of the market. It needs too much work and you price too high. When you're coming into in the lower corner between price and condition, that's where you'll find properties like bank repos. They're in really bad condition and they don't cost a lot, So that's not where you want to be either. You don't want to be outside the market. You want to be inside the market. So that means you're attracting showings and you are attracting offers. If you're attracting showings and no offers will come, That means you're what we call no man's land. It's like you're in that gray zone where people think, let's go have a look, but you know they feel that something's too high or it's not their thing. It means that you're in the no man's land, as we call it. The condition of your home will determine the price every time. It's the most important factor. The location is important as well, but the condition is extremely important as well. So that's why we say being on the market is not the same thing as being in the market. If you're on the market, you should attract showings and eventually an offer. It's that simple. And again, we come back to the more customized your home is, the longer it may take to find that one buyer. And then we come back to timelines, where if you know you're buying or building a very, very custom home, you need to know that it may take longer to find that one buyer. So if your plan is short, 2-3 years, I would say try to find something that many buyers like to buy. Like 3 bedrooms on the main level is a very important factor. So make sure your next move is your best move, is what we always say. We have all this information available for you. If you would like to receive a copy, just email us or give me a call. That's my cell phone number right there, 506-470-9226. We can help you with checklists. We can help you prepare for your lender. We can send you those do's and don'ts, prepare for your home for sale, and so on. Just don't hesitate and ask us for information. So I hope that was very informative for all of you. And let me know if we can help you further. Thank you.
Thank you, Fanny. And as an appreciation for your time and expertise, the Chamber will be making a donation in your name to our scholarship fund. I would once again like to thank and acknowledge the University of Fredericton for sponsoring our Lunch and Learn webinar series. If you'd like to watch this webinar again, or if you'd like to pass it on to your coworkers, it will be posted on the Chamber's website and the Chamber's YouTube channel within the next few weeks. Thank you to everyone, and have a great day.